When I got my first projector, it completely changed my life, and I definitely think it will for you as well, even if you're not a hardcore gamer or buy this specific projector that I'm going to be reviewing. But for me, when I got my first projector a couple years ago, it was such a profound experience that I got rid of my TV instantaneously, and I just daily drove a projector for music videos, Netflix and chill, take it seriously, but also gaming, and just had so much fun. Party games, sure, casual gaming, absolutely, but just in general, the emotional payoff you get from having a giant freaking screen, just video games blasted on your wall, it's unparalleled. It truly is, and I hope you believe me, and we're gonna rant about it more too. But all of this is getting brought back to me because I just had a similar evolution and experience with a brand new projector I got a couple weeks ago. BenQ's X3000i. Super catchy name, maybe we should do better on that, but marketing aside, this is the projector that is gonna be for the sort of elite gamers who want to play, you know, with 4 millisecond lag, maybe up to 240 hertz if you want to, but 4K gaming especially. Just really big, colorful, sharp gameplay that just fully immersive if you want to play on the newest generation, you know, consoles. Maybe the newest generation of competitive games on PC, or just games you want to share with your friends and family. Obviously, you're going to have fun playing party games, Mario Kart, all that good stuff, but especially games that would normally be difficult to share with friends that they can now actually participate in, like single-player open-world games, Grand Theft Auto or Far Cry, what have you. Now you could play anything, and they're in it because they can't help it. It's a giant freaking screen in front of everyone, and it truly is a great time. And with the BenQ X3000i, it's now so good that I can play more games than I dared dream to before, and with the longer lasting LED lifespan, I'm not so guilty about it, and I think the lifestyle switch now to this new projector is too exciting. So this review is going to be a whole lot of me gushing, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There is some pros and cons, and there is a lifestyle switch to it all to attain this glorious evolution into the projector master race. So if you guys are interested in a real world, actual tested review of this gaming projector, and in general, just like a peek into the lifestyle of projectors, this is gonna be the video for you. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks so much for subscribing. Keep that hype alive, and let's see if a projector's for you, and if this is the one that you should be getting. So, do you need to have set aside like a luxurious home theater room in your mansion just to even begin to think about getting a projector? The answer is no. Projectors are for anyone, all of the time, everywhere, except sometimes no, not really. There are some stipulations that we do need to run down, and some that you'll definitely come into contact with, specifically the X3000i, like I did. So you do have to actually think of the viewing angle, the projection angle out of this device. For this one, it's pretty severe, and I had to actually hike up the back end and tilt the whole projector pretty seriously. But it does come with some screws that allowed me to do it, so I just put those to the max, and it actually worked perfectly for my viewing distance and angle and everything. Yeah, okay, I got lucky maybe. But you can see my setup. I just set it on my kitchen counter, and this is what my living room looks like. Overall, very minimal, very straightforward. My whole freaking wall is it's a screen, and it's awesome. But you can also notice to the right of this screen, I do have a window, which needs to be completely shut off all of the time if I want to use my projector. Luckily with this one, it is so bright and so vivid and clear and colorful that I can have some lamps, I can have some ambient light, and also I know on screen it might look a little worse than in real life, but trust me, overall, midday, bright as heck, as long as I close the blinds, even with some lamps on, the picture is perfect, at least with this projector. With my last one, the TH685, I don't think I could quite say that. There definitely was a little bit more iffiness because things weren't as deep, the colors weren't as rich, even if it might have technically have been brighter, it just didn't really feel that way. But in general, if you get a projector, you're gonna have to keep it dark. So if you have like this big living room that has lots of windows always open and everyone's running in and out and you have lights on, no, it's probably not worth it for you to get a projector. You might need a specific room or specific setup. But for me personally, my lifestyle has always fit that. And I think actually in general, most apartments will, and you can, with a little bit of awkwardness and fandangling, make a projector work. And when it works, oh baby, it's working. And again, I cannot stress how awkward it is to film projectors. Watch any other video on YouTube, even with the like super expensive cameras. It's just like so much better in real life. Please believe me. All right, guys, so I'm actually showing a close-up of my wall so you can see that it's like grotesquely textured, and yet in the grand scheme of things, It doesn't matter. When your screen is this big, it doesn't matter. You don't need a fancy screen. I guess it can help. I actually own a screen, but I don't care. I'm just gonna throw it up on my wall. It doesn't matter. Have fun. And yeah, on that note of awkwardness and discomfort, we're gonna start reviewing the gaming performance, because to go as far as I possibly could with this, I had to drag out my gaming PC and hook everything up in the middle of the living room, because there's no way the cords, the HDMI cables and everything were long enough to attach to it with it on the kitchen counter. Again, these are things you have to think about, but if you want to play Valorant and a select few other games at 240 Hz, there's not many games you're going to be doing that with, then you might have a setup similar to this. And I think a lot of people who are going to set up their projectors for the first time will just slap it in the middle of the room, like on a coffee table, and you'll notice that the screen size isn't as big as it could be, because you got to consider the throw distance of projectors. For this one, you want to set it back pretty far. So back on the ceiling or back where I have mine, perfect. Which is pretty far, actually. Not every apartment is that long. But if you do get it all set up and looking good, you know, it's perfect, basically. The low latency at 4 milliseconds rang true. I was playing Tekken, I was playing a bunch of different games. I literally could not feel any latency whatsoever. And not only that, but this was actually the first time that I had in my home a 240 hertz screen. So yeah, I'm definitely looking to upgrade my PC monitor BenQ as soon as possible. But for my projector, this was a really cool thing. But I will have to say that 240 hertz is kind of a gimmick when it comes to almost all games. When you normally get a gaming projector, what I firstly think of is party games, so you don't need too low latency overall, but I would like it, yeah, absolutely. And then fighting games, you know, fighting game tournaments and things like that. But 240 hertz for racing games, for open world games, you know, games that you can still play kind of casual and laid back, you know, not Valorant esport titles, not exactly for those gamers. It's more for the console gamers playing Halo and maybe take it to a competitive level. You know, maybe you're a streamer, maybe you're a content creator, and maybe you are playing these controller-based games like Rocket League. Then this is the holy grail experience. It is so freaking good. I could gush forever about it, but just know the stats and numbers that it shows on the website, it does it real good, flawless basically. It just overall comes back to that lifestyle thing. Do you need a 240 hertz monitor because you want to play competitive PC FPS? No, you're best getting a BenQ monitor for that, but is it going to make like Minecraft better? Is it going to make racing games better? Is it going to make all these experiences better? If you haven't played high refresh rate and you think everything's about pixels and just going 4K, which by the way, this projector looks amazing on, you can do that, but I'm telling you, yes, playing at high refresh rates, I think trumps the overall resolution any day for a lot of games. But overall, I do like that this projector has those options. So it's not entirely just a gimmick one way or the other. Depending on the game that you're playing, this projector is the most flexible projector for a gamer. You're going to be able to do whatever you want and have the most immersive experience. Interruption, but this is important. So if you want to play on game mode, you need to know there's one big problem with that. So right here you see that it's like perfectly square, looks freaking amazing, playing some Legend of Zelda, feeling good. Okay, well if I really wanted to play with the super hyper low latency, which honestly for most games you don't, but if you're playing Tekken, something like that, blah blah blah, Halo, well let's go ahead and switch it to game mode. And you'll notice that it kind of removed my my keystone. So unless your projector is perfectly flush or whatever, there's gonna be some distortion. And this is pretty close to the center of the wall. So that's why there's only a little bit of distortion. So that's fine for me, but it might completely destroy your experience. You should just know that. And talking about immersive experiences, we should talk about the sound, because most TVs come with speakers. With the projector though, it really is mostly focused on the projection, the visual quality. When you have something this big and epic, you can't really expect more when it comes to the sound. And overall, I'm having a lot of fun with it. I do have it actually right next to me on the couch. Depending on where you place it, it might sound freaking horrible, but for me, I really do enjoy it. Of course, to match the epicosity that is massaging my eyeballs, I'm gonna need a sound system, but that's, you know, just overall to be expected. I actually really do like the speakers in this projector much more than my BenQ TH685, because they're in the center. They're centered, there's two of them, they come out evenly, and overall it's pretty decently bassy. I will say that when things are particularly loud and particularly bassy. You definitely get some rattle, but overall, they sound really freaking great. The best out of any projector that I've owned so far, and better than most TVs that I've seen as well. But again, when you have a giant freaking projector, you probably should get a sound system. I'm telling myself that. That's next on the list. And something to note is occasionally you will hear this buzzing sound coming from the projector. It doesn't always last, and if anything is playing, you won't hear it, but it is kind of high-pitched and kind of annoying. But then again, this is a projector. It is what it is. It's targeting home cinemaphiles, which probably already have their own, monitors that they can use, or gamers who have their headsets that they use when they're playing competitive Halo and Call of Duty. So all in all, definitely fair. I have not felt the need to upgrade yet. For casual home use, abso-freaking-lutely, and yeah, even for casual gaming, these speakers are good enough, but the visuals are just so good, you'll probably want to upgrade sooner than later. And segueing off of upgradability, let's talk about the lifespan of this projector. The X3000i is rated for 20,000 hours. And if you guys aren't a part of the projector community, maybe you don't know, but projectors tend to not last that long by far. In fact, my last projector, the TH685, which I said actually had a pretty good lifespan, was at 4,000 hours. And after non-stop use every single day, from using it for YouTube to cinema, films, gaming on it, just high refresh rate, I got one dead pixel after a couple years. But this, the X3000i, is rated for 5 times the hours, which is starting to look kind of like a TV lifespan, actually. So we now, for our projector lifestyle, are starting to transition into worrying less about having to replace the bulbs to just buying it and it just working for a really long time. Having a high refresh rate, big freaking colorful screen that is my wall for 20,000 hours. Definitely excited about that. I think that's a huge selling point for getting this projector and paying the premium for the 4 LED setup versus a normal lamp. So, who is a projector for? I think probably most people, actually. It just is a lifestyle switch. But honestly, with the whole Gen Z and millennial focus on living in apartments and moving, it's really easy to pick up and go with that than a whole entertainment stand and a television, and you can just project this on any white wall, which is gonna be white because you're living in apartments. You can't paint the walls. You just throw it up, one and done, you're good. But if you really want to know who should be buying this particular projector, the BenQ X3000i, then I have a list of games on the screen there. If you like playing these games or plan to play these games and you want the absolute best experience, then this is the projector for you. But also know that any projector is going to just blow up your experience. It's going to help you make memories, and especially this one in particular. Now my new daily driver is the one that I'm going to champion for. If you want a projector, you want future-proofing, and you want the best that can do the most for an affordable price, especially compared to other luxury projectors, then this is the one that I'll be recommending. And yes, because of the longer lifespan and the 4 LEDs, the color accuracy, this is great to watch cinema with, anime, and to get your money's worth out of this projector, yeah, you can use it for everything, every day, all of the time, which is what I have been and will be doing. So if anybody wants to come over, play some Rock Band, I don't know, just shoot the shit, watch some anime, let's do it, let's have some fun. You're invited to the party, because every day's a party when you have a projector. Much love, friends and family. That is all I have to say about the lifestyle of owning a projector. I hope I've convinced you, but in the description down below, there's actually a discount code if you guys want to use it. Check out this projector, BenQ's X3000i. Definitely champion all of BenQ's suite of products, from their Zowie mice all the way to clearly their projectors and monitors. Much love, friends and family. Remember to keep the hype alive, and I'll see you again next time.